So welcome everybody. Thank you to all of the incoming students who are joining us today. We're super happy to have you here. We're really excited for you to start your summer semester. I'm Dr. Aura Young. I'm the Associate Director of the Reynolds Center for Graduate Life and Learning. And what I'm going to do here is just introduce Dean William Talone. He's our new dean of the graduate school, started at the beginning of January. So he has a few welcoming remarks to make, and then we have a couple of panel discussions, opportunities to chat in questions, and then we have a really fun breakout room activity. So, Dean Talone, I turn it over to you now.
Thank you, Laura, and welcome to everyone. I'm happy to have this opportunity to talk to you and to tell you a little bit about UNC Charlotte. And first of all, I want to thank you all for choosing us. We are excited that you are joining us and for the programs that lie ahead for you. What I will begin by telling you is that for me, UNC Charlotte has been a special place. I may be new to my position as Dean of the Graduate School, but I've been at UNC Charlotte since 1996. My background is in computer science, and but now I have this opportunity to work in graduate education across campus. And so I don't know if I have special words of wisdom for you, but I will tell you a little bit about um, uh, what I hope you will find in your program here, and I would be shocked if you didn't. When I look at higher education and I look at what we do for our students through our programs, we help develop you both in terms of new skills and knowledge, but our main goal is for you to be prepared to make meaningful contributions to society in your chosen discipline. And all of you have developed and already achieved a baccalaureate degree and are making contributions already. But now with this next step that you're taking, you have this chance to take and expand your capacity to do meaningful work and make these meaningful contributions to society. So I would encourage you to think about these things in those terms and to try to identify those things that you hope to achieve and approach your studies with that in mind. With all of that, I want to stress to you the importance about that we stress in our programs here, and that is that the skills and knowledge that you acquire as a part of your programs. I would encourage you to think about how you will be using those in a positive and ethical way. I mentioned that I come from a computer science background, and of course, we all hear a lot about AI and all of the different ways that AI is impacting society. And in light of that, there are very positive things that AI is doing for us. But if we don't think about the ethical implications of our work, we can also use that technology in a very negative way. And what is true for AI is really true for all of the different studies that are being pursued by you all in our programs. We have nearly 150 different graduate programs, and so there's a diversity of ways that you are going to be expanding and enhancing your abilities to make meaningful contributions to society. And in light of that, as you develop your artistic skills, your innovative, your ability to be an innovator, to be a scientist, to be a scholar, always keep in mind what's that positive benefit that I want to contribute to society with those skills. My office is in Reese Hall, the Reese building, and I would encourage you to, if you have a concern, to reach out to me and to come by and see me. I will leave you with that thought about this being a special place. I arrived at UNC Charlotte, as I said, in 1996, and it didn't take long for me to discover just how special this place is. And it's the reason why I'm still here after all these years. So as you move forward in your studies, you're going to be challenged. There are going to be things that there'll be ups, there'll be downs, but in all of that, We have a great support system here to help you succeed, and I would encourage you to take advantage of those support systems. Some are going to be specific to the program, but I want to call out in particular our Reynolds Center for Graduate Life and Learning. They do an outstanding job of supporting you in your studies. And so even if you don't know the kind of support you need, you can always start there and ask the question, here's the challenge I'm facing, here's what I seek to find. And in that context, you're going to build community. I hope you build this, and I expect you to build community within your program, but it's also helpful when you can build community across campus. So again, I want to thank you for choosing us. We have really outstanding programs here at UNC Charlotte. We consider it a privilege to work with you, but we're also looking to see what those things you're going to contribute to us as you continue in your studies. And so once again, welcome, and I look forward to meeting you along the way.
Thank you, Dean Talone, for that warm welcome. And I would like to second what Dr. Talone said about, the Center for Graduate Life and Learning is here to support you. And there are also many people in the graduate school over in the Reese building and across campus who are here for you. So if you ever feel a little lost or have a question you can't answer, come to us anytime. So next, I want to introduce our academic success panel. We have Lauren Coffey, Dr. Jill Huerta, and Jen Amano. So we have a few questions for about the next 20 minutes or so before we chat with these students. And then, yes, as Laura just said in the chat, please feel free to chat in any questions all along the way, and we'll try to get to them as soon as we can. If there's anything that we don't answer that's really important, well, they're all important, but if there's anything we don't get to, I'll try to send out a follow-up email later this week or next week, and we will also be posting this recording on YouTube. So first of all, Lauren. So Lauren, do you want to introduce yourself and say what you do in the graduate school?
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Lauren Coffey. I am the Director of Graduate Academic Services. So what my team does is we process the grades and petitions for current and incoming continuing students all the way through matriculation and getting their degree. So we help make sure that you are progressing through your degree. We process the specific forms related to your milestones. And whenever you do have any specific questions about university policies as it relates to your degree and your academic progress, that would go through my team specifically. So I'm relatively new in this role. I've only been here about a year at this point. So I am here to welcome you to. It's a great place, and I'm happy and excited to be here.
Thank you, Lauren. Do you want to tell folks about the college liaisons since you oversee them?
Sure. So we have two college liaisons. So they are, as you know, our things are split into multiple colleges. We have 7 colleges, College of Arts and Architecture, the College of Business, College of Education, College of Engineering, uh, College of Health and Human Services, College of Humanities, Earth and Social Sciences. Still working with that one, and then the College of Computing and Informatics. So those are where all of our academic programs are housed. And we have 2 college liaisons that help you answer questions based on your specific college. So each college has a specific liaison inbox, and the liaisons would help you answer basic questions when it comes to processing things when it related to the grad school, or if you have questions about how to, enroll in specific classes, what you need to do to format your thesis or dissertation, all of that is things that our liaisons can help you with.
Perfect. And then if somebody could put the link to the current students page in the chat, that would probably be really helpful. That's where you can go to find how to get in contact with your college liaison. And then there's also a lot of other information there for current students, including, I think you can find all the graduate school forms there. And there's just there's a lot of information there. So thank you, Ben, for putting that there. So Lauren, if we could just stick with you for one more second, do you have any advice for academic success in graduate school?
Sure. So oftentimes, if we do see potential issues with students, is that they feel maybe that they're not progressing as fast as they need to, but they are afraid to ask for help. One of the best ways to progress through graduate school, it is tough for everybody. And if you are having difficulty with your classes, please reach out to not only your graduate program director, your advisor, potentially even a liaison, because that way we're going to be able to help you with potential issues, whether that might be withdrawing from a class or taking a leave of absence if you're having medical or health issues that is causing the issues that why you can't progress in your classes. So the more that we have that knowledge in advance, we are here to help you, and it's easier so that way you don't have to worry about the potential for suspensions or terminations.
Right. It's always better to reach out and ask for help rather than just stress about it and get yourself into some sort of a pickle. So thank you,
Yes.
Lauren. And sort of related to that, I was going to ask Jenna Mano about what advice she might have. What advice might you have, Jen, for things to maybe avoid doing in graduate school in order to keep things going smoothly? Of course, we want everybody to have a nice, smooth experience here. And also, Jen, if you want to just introduce yourself and say what you do, that would be great.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Jen Amano. I am the Associate Ombuds here at UNC Charlotte. We are an office of two, so you might also hear the name Scott Deo. Scott Deo is our university ombuds. And so Scott and I work as a team. We are a confidential, off the record resource for faculty, staff, you all as graduate students, as well as the undergraduate student population. So what we do is pretty unique. We are here to listen to concerns, maybe help you navigate a conflict that you haven't encountered previously. We might do some coaching, we might do some training. We also have, this other piece of our role, which is the possibility to surface issues for systemic change. So if there are gaps in policies that might need to be addressed on a larger scale, we're happy to kind of protect the identities of those who are coming forward, but also make sure that those necessary changes are made at the institution. So that's a very, very brief overview of what we do. We're always happy to help. And I think for us, and with respect to what we do in the ombuds office, I would say similar to what has already been said as far as advice, just being a little bit proactive about some of those concerns or issues that you might be encountering. I've been reading up on crucial conversations, and part of crucial conversations is this idea of lag time and how much time passes between when an issue arises and when there is an effort to resolve it. And so the smaller the lag time, the better that you're able to get to a resolution. And for you all, that could mean, no delays on your academic progress. That could mean a better relationship with faculty or your advisor. It could mean, an array of positive outcomes. So just if there's something going on, please reach out to help. You have so many resources at your disposal.
Thanks, Jen. Did you mention confidentiality? Maybe I missed it.
I did, but I can expand on that if you would like me to. Sure.
Sure.
So in the ombuds office, like I said, we are confidential. The exception to that being imminent risk of harm. If we identify that during a meeting with, we call them visitors. Anyone who comes to see us is a visitor. If we identify imminent risk of serious harm, we would report that. But outside of that, we are a safe space for you to come with concerns, questions, whatever you might have going on. And we do not share out any of that information. We don't identify you as someone that has met with us. If there are other individuals at the institution who come up to me and Scott and say, hey, I know so-and-so has, already talked to you about this, we can't confirm or deny that that meeting happened. And that really is just sort of a safeguard. We want, visitors to feel comfortable coming to us with things that they might be hesitant to bring forward elsewhere at the moment. And so, other exceptions to that would be if we get permission. If we are meeting with a visitor and we say, I'd really like to surface this issue or find out more information for you, do I have your permission to reach out to other individuals and see what I can find out? Do I have your permission to say your name? And the visitor is really the person in control there. They can say, no, I don't want to be identified, or yes, you can talk about my situation, but please don't say my name, whatever it might be. But we are completely confidential. We're also not mandated reporters. And so that is a kind of a unique part of our office as well. And we will definitely share information about where some of those formal processes can be carried out.
Thank you. And I can confirm sometimes once in a while, Scott or Jen will contact me and say, I have a student. They don't even tell me which department, which program, anything like that. They're just like, they're having this sort of struggle with their advisor, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes, they'll advise the student to come speak with me or somebody else in the graduate school, but unless the student wants to come do that, then, we don't know who it is at all. So thank you. That's a great resource. And Laura put the link in the chat. And so, yeah, for our international students in particular, I know a lot of them are, a lot of you guys are kind of like concerned sometimes about confidentiality. So this is good to know that both the ombuds and our counseling center, all of that is completely confidential. So let's see here. So I just wanted to turn to Jill Huerta. Do you want to introduce yourself? Tell us what all you do in the Center for Graduate Life and Learning.
Sure. Thanks, Zara. Welcome, everyone. I'm Dr. Jill Huerta. I'm Assistant Dean and Director of the Reynolds Center for Graduate Life and Learning. And at the Reynolds Center, we oversee all the support that you need to succeed while you're here in school and when you graduate. So that includes professional development to get you ready for your job search and your early career. It includes academic support like writing support, and mentoring and research support to help you succeed while you're here. Community building to help you network and make connections, and also to help you stay mentally healthy. And some wellness programming as well. In fact, community building would be considered part of wellness programming. So we do a broad array of activities, and we deliver those in a lot of different formats. Everything from credit-bearing courses that can sometimes be counted as electives in your programs, to social events, to workshops and competitions and experiential learning opportunities. Oh, just before you move on, I also would say that my team and I pride ourselves in doing just what Dean Talone described when he welcomed you, being the place that you can come if you have any challenge at all that you're struggling with. And we won't know the answer to every question you have, absolutely not. But what we will commit to is helping you get the answer. So we will see you through to the referral that you need, to the next person. And we'll always say, circle back with us. Let us know if that worked. And if that didn't get you what you need, we'll try something else. And we're very persistent in making sure that we exhaust every resource in getting what you need.
Yes, absolutely. So you were talking about professional development support. Why would a first year student want to go to a resume writing workshop or something like that? They're busy and that's down the road, right? Having to find a job.
Actually, this is the perfect time to go to a resume writing workshop or a networking workshop, or to get your LinkedIn profile in order. Networking is a long process. building your network of professional peers takes a lot of time. And many people hate networking because they view it as approaching people and saying, will you give me something? Will you give me a job? Will you give me an internship? Will you help me? Will you introduce me to the right person? But that isn't really what building a network is all about. It's actually about making connections, building relationships that are mutually beneficial. And that doesn't happen a month before you need a job. It takes a long time to do that. So beginning that process right away, whether you're a certificate, master's, or PhD student, beginning that process right away is going to be so helpful for you, so that whether it's a year out when you're applying for internships or 5 years out when you're graduating with a PhD and applying for jobs, that network will be there. And those skills that you need to search for a job and make those connections will be there.
Right, it's never too early. And I saw a question in the chat. Well, let me just say, digress for a second and say it seems like all the questions in the chat are just coming straight to me, so I'm going to have to adjust that. But someone did ask if our program is online and we don't live in the Charlotte area, are these career support services available? And they are. We do have some virtual programming, of course, like this. And then some of it is in person, but also the Career Center next to us provides a lot of professional development help, and a lot of their resources are virtual, and they have lots of resources online as well. So if somebody would like to put that in the chat for everybody, that would be
Can
awesome.
I also add to that that we have a graduate and postdoctoral writing center that also sees a large percentage of their students virtually, even asynchronously. So lots of opportunities to get support.
Yeah, and by asynchronously, so you can go in person or you can meet with them virtually, or you can just send them your paper and then they can comment and send it back. So that's super convenient if you just need a little review like that.
Maybe we could get that link in the chat as well, the graduate and
Yes,
postdoctoral writing center.
that would be very helpful if somebody could put that in there.
There's a
And I
lot of writing in graduate education, so that's a great resource.
Absolutely. And you want to take advantage of it early and often if you want to, really have build a good writing habit, especially if you're going to write a thesis or dissertation. It's good to get started with the writing center, and don't be embarrassed at all to take advantage of the help, because we're not born knowing how to write academic papers. Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's right.
so for all of you, Lauren, Jen, and Jill, um, what is it about working with students that you love?
Okay, well, I can go first. So before I came to this role, I was actually a graduate instructor myself. I taught for about 14 years and decided that I wanted a new experience outside of the classroom. And I like this particular role because I'm able to help students just beyond my particular area of expertise. And it is always great to see students finish and get through that like commencement, slog. So it's graduate school can be a long, drawn out process, but there are a lot of really good benefits to it. And what my team is here to do is to make sure that students are getting the help that they need.
For me, I absolutely love to see growth, personal growth in people. And I love to see people putting effort into their personal growth. So that's why I really hope all of you will take advantage of the opportunities outside of your program at places like the Reynolds Center, to learn to do more than just get a degree while you're here. Increase the skills that are going to help you when you graduate. Leave your comfort zone, improve at things. And I get the biggest kick ever when I see a student put themselves out there and try public speaking, for example, and then succeed and feel so good about it and have greater confidence. That's a wonderful thing.
I don't know if I can be as eloquent, but I will share my personal commitment to working at least in higher education. So I came up through the ranks in student affairs. I worked, in various departments within student affairs for the past 10 years. My first professional job was actually here at UNC Charlotte in 2015. So there's something about being here at Charlotte that makes people want to come back, that makes people want to stay. But outside of that, yeah, I've just always really enjoyed working with students and helping support them through, this, whatever we want to call it, our college career, or navigating this other world. For me, I was a first gen student, so it's sort of me wanting to give back because I know how daunting it can be, how overwhelming it might be, but you're doing such an amazing thing, getting your education and wanting to get that degree. And so however I can contribute to you getting there, I want to be part of that as much as I can.
Well, that was beautiful, Jen. Thank you. Um, let's see, what was I going to say here? Oh, yeah. So as we wrap up this portion of the panel, do you have any advice for our incoming students, or can you think of anything you wish you had done differently when you were in graduate school, or anything like that?
I think my advice is be bold. This isn't a time to shy away from challenges. This is a really safe environment where you can try things and there aren't high stakes if they don't go well necessarily. It's a supportive environment. So be bold, try what you want to do, and know you're not going to get fired, right? It's not a job where there's a lot on the line. Use that opportunity.
Well, you do have to make good grades, though.
And get good grades.
Yeah, I would add to that and say, ask questions, be inquisitive. This is your time to expand your knowledge, and that knowledge and that expansion will show in your grades and the work that you do. So make sure you're taking the time to ask questions and understand everything that's happening around you.
And I guess for me, I would just say use the resources that you have as a student. Students have the most resources available to them at the university. And so, I don't know, for those of you who have graduated and are in, you might be in the workforce and moving on. I know when I graduated from grad school, I think I left thinking, man, I really wish I could go and go see this person in this department, or I had utilized that a little bit more because we push it so much. You have so much available to you. You have so much support. Use it while you can.
Yes, absolutely. I didn't go to the Writing Center until I was halfway through my dissertation. I didn't go to the Career Center until I was desperate to find a job. So take advantage of these resources. You're paying for them, actually, so you should. Okay, thank you so much, Lauren, Jen, and Jill. I thought that was a lovely way to transition here from our welcome to our student panel. So I'm going to turn to our students here. I've got Jennifer Adelhart. We've got Kingsford, I'm going to mispronounce your last name. I'm so sorry. So you can pronounce it. And then we have Shailesh Kumar as well. So why don't the three of you introduce yourselves? I have lost you on my screen, but let's just say, Jennifer, do you want to go first?
Sure. Hi, I'm Jen, and I was trying to add everyone as you were speaking. So I think I missed one right now. So we need to just add, oh, there's Kingsford. Let me grab him too. And did we get everybody you mentioned?
I'm not
All right.
sure. Maybe.
All right. Well, hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer Adelhart. You can call me Jen. I am a DBA scholar here at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. So I'm starting my final year on my doctorate of business administration. Fingers crossed for everyone. And I am really excited to be doing that. What other pieces of information? Sorry, I just forgot.
Well, your program, did you just say what year you're in? You're already working on your dissertation.
Yes,
So
so I'm starting my final year in the Doctorate of Business Administration program, and so I'm working on my Doctorate of Business Administration. My area of research is the relationship between entrepreneurship and between ADHD or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder traits and entrepreneurship. So really interesting in that piece. And I was actually honored to be able to give a TEDx talk here on the University of North Carolina campus back in February. So when we're talking about incredible resources that this school has, there are ones that I didn't even know were possible before I came here and started learning more about them. So I'm really excited to be here today. Thanks for having me.
thank you, Jen. And I'm sorry I mispronounced your last name while I was worrying about Kingsford's. Kingsford, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Young. So my name is Kingsford. I'm originally from Ghana, West Africa. I'm currently doing my doctoral program in public policy. I'll be heading towards my third year, fourth semester. So my research interest is basically in how social safety nets affect the economic mobility of kids. So I look at intergenerational effects of social cash transfer programs in the US and also in the developing country context. So I'm glad to be here. Yeah.
Thank you, Kingsford. And then we have Kumar. I don't see him on my screen though.
Yeah. Hi everyone. Good evening. And my name is Shailesh Kumar, and I am currently a grad student. I came last fall, and I just completed my first year, and it was a great, amazing experience over here. Right. Even last year, I was a participant, same like yours here, and today after 1 year, I am a co-host in the same meeting. So it's a great, amazing experience, and yeah, glad to be here.
Thank you, Kumar. Yeah, I should say, so Kumar is a GA in our office. He just started working with us at the beginning of this summer. So we're super happy to have him. He's going to be, well, he's already doing great things, improving our website and our onboarding portal. And then Jen and Kingsford are both Graduate Life Fellows. We have 8 Graduate Life Fellows every year. Maybe somebody would like to drop a link to that in the chat, but basically we have it's very competitive. We choose 8 students. We try to get one from each college, but really, it's super important that we find some really energetic, passionate students who are really happy to promote our services and get students familiar with what we do, so that we can help students succeed. And the Graduate Life Fellows also organize a fall social in September when we have a lot of food and drinks and things. They often help out with the Graduate Research Symposium in the springtime. That's a student organized event where you can do a presentation or a poster presentation in an environment that's not like super high stakes, it's not like an international conference or whatever. So it's a really good experience. Um, and all of our grad life fellows, they're in different programs, they have different interests, they're from different countries, and they're always available if you want to reach out and get some advice, or if you have any questions or anything. So let me see here. Speaking of questions, I have some questions for you. What didn't you know from the beginning of your program that you wish you had known? Jennifer, I think you have something.
Yes. Okay. There are a plethora of resources here at UNC Charlotte. You heard multiple people talk about it. You heard a little bit earlier where Lauren and Jen mentioned just these incredible resources that we have here on campus. And walking in day one was very overwhelming. There's so much that's thrown at you as a new student in terms of what these resources are, which is fantastic. But I didn't retain a lot of that. And I wish that certain ones had been pointed out to me and been like, you really want to know about this. And for me, my top 3 are the library. Oh my goodness. What an incredible, incredible resource we have. You have access to so many different academic research articles, anything from Harvard Business Review, newspapers, what have you, that you normally have to pay to subscribe to. No. Just go through your single sign-on. Okay, and if you need a book that costs a lot of money because it is a research book, they could potentially get it for you through the library. It's a wonderful resource, right? And I didn't really know about this until I got more involved. And the level at which we have these resources, it was incredible. Two, the Career Center. Oh my goodness, the fact that they can help with resume reviews, interview prep, it is just incredible. And people pay hundreds and thousands of dollars for these services outside of the walls of the university. You will have to purchase these services privately without that resource. So please, another amazing resource to have. And then the third thing is our student IDs get us student discounts. And so, for example, I happen to use Amazon Prime. This is not an advertisement for Amazon Prime, but I now have half price Amazon Prime because I am a student. And there is a way to go through and get that. And there's another site called ID Me that I'll drop in the link where you can register with your student ID and then you can get discounts at lots of different companies by showing that you have a student ID. So take advantage of your student status as well. Definitely not something I thought about when I first walked through the doors. Just kind of these really important resources that I've been utilizing and I'm so grateful for. Oh, but besides the CGLL, of course, that's my favorite.
Last but not least, um,
Yeah,
let
now
me see. Oh, go ahead,
let
Kumar.
me add something to Jen. Yeah, I already added a lot of things, but yeah, I would like to tell you all, walk around the campus. Campus is really very, very beautiful, right? I used to do late night walks, and you will love the campus, the lightings, the spots, especially the botanical gardens. You must visit it once.
Yeah, the botanical gardens are really nice. I mean, they're not huge, but they're super lovely, and it's a great place to go when you're, stressed out and you just need a little time out in nature. So I highly recommend them.
Yeah, there are many hangout spots with friends, like the Constellation is there, botanical garden. You can even watch, go to theater, movie theater. We have a movie theater in Student Union, so you can
Oh
watch
yeah,
movies with your friends. So yeah, a lot of things. But yeah, apart from studies, socialize and work on your hobbies as well.
awesome. Thank you. Kingsford, did you have any advice?
Mine is there was a huge gap between undergrad and then the grad school. So when I got into grad school, my master's, I didn't really maximize it. So what do I mean by that? I imply that when it comes to especially research-based programs, you need to be up, you need to up your game. You're not going to create knowledge. So I would advise that once you get into you begin your program, be fully immersed in terms of research. Your 10 papers, don't just do it like an undergrad project. You have to really pour out yourself into it and then maximize those opportunities. And also also maximize the professors. They are there to help you through this journey, not just to help you get a grade at the end of the semester. No, you have to come to the level of being able to produce knowledge. And I think that's really it's a huge gap. I don't know how to really put it well, but I just want you to embrace yourself that it is beyond just going through a curriculum to get a grade. Now you are going to be at the other end of producing knowledge. So that is one thing. Also, the issue of balancing social life with academic life. I think we'll probably be going there later or something, but I want to chip in right there. Grad school can be very daunting. But my safe haven in Charlotte have always been the parks. I love to go to one of my favorite places, the Franklinski Park or the campus garden, just to walk through it, just to kind of calm my nerves down. So I would just recommend that you really, because 2 years does not take long. It'll just pass by quickly. So just immerse yourself and try and find a balance between your grad school and your social life. Yeah.
Yeah, and if I could add one thing too to Kingsford, I love how you said it is different, right? Going into grad school than your undergrad. One of the things that someone actually did tell me on day one that I really appreciated is everyone here wants to see you succeed. And when you hear Lauren and Jen mentioning reach out early if you're encountering challenges, that's because that is when it will make it easiest to help people succeed. And your professors, the staff, your fellow students, everyone on campus is here to see you succeed. And I just love that about this, about UNC Charlotte specifically.
It's true. I mean, graduate school is difficult, right? It's going to be difficult, but it should not be unreasonably, impossible or whatever. So, yeah, thank you for that. We've gotten a few questions in the chat, especially about sort of like online students having access to things here on campus. I could just tell you that you pay different student fees from the online students, but you still have access to a lot of resources, all the library resources, of course. And lots of that is online. Like you can request articles through the library or through interlibrary loan and get those digitally. You can get chapters of books sent to you digitally. There's all sorts of resources there. So if you go to the library website, especially, there's a tab that says research and write, and that one's got lots and lots of resources. Our workshops through the CGLL, like I said, we have virtual ones that you can attend. If you're in the area, like if you're in the Charlotte area, you can come on campus and take advantage of a number of things. And one thing that people don't often realize is instead of paying for visitor parking, you can get a day pass that's only $8, I think. So it's far, far cheaper than paying by the hour. You just need to go to the parking permit portion of the transportation website, which I'm sure somebody will put in the chat here in just a second. But yeah, so we just wanted to make you aware that you can actually take advantage of a lot of things virtually and here in person if you're nearby.
Yeah, and one
Go ahead.
a couple of the other things just off the top of my head for the virtual is the Career Center has virtual drop-ins. The Career Center has, you can make virtual appointments. They actually have I believe it is an AI-driven interview practice tool where you can actually practice interviewing with this tool and you will be given feedback. So there are so many resources, to your point, that are virtual that you can get in so many different ways, which I think is absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, we actually have a lot of online students, especially like in the College of Ed. So it makes sense that there would be, the proper resources available to all of y'all. Let's see here. So does anybody have any good advice about dealing with imposter syndrome, for example? I bet that there are a lot of people here that have never even heard that term before.
So do we want to define it really quickly first?
Yeah, maybe. Yep. I guess I'll define it. So it's when you feel like you don't belong and everybody else is smarter than you are. And I went through the entirety of graduate school thinking this, that they had just like made a mistake and they meant to admit somebody else and not me. And then actually when I finished grad school or was about to finish, that's when I heard this term imposter syndrome. And I was like, oh, that's so funny because that's exactly how I feel. So, what can y'all say about that for our incoming students?
I definitely felt it most of my life personally, right? I think a lot of us high achievers tend to hold up a really high bar. I think it's really important to reach out and talk with people because I think what's helped me is realizing that I don't have to know everything in order to continue pursuing what I'm pursuing. Right. So I don't have to know every last thing, which is kind of the bar I had set for myself. Like that's not a normal bar, apparently. And that's okay. Right. So it's one of those things where I think the more we talk to each other, and also I would consider mental health services. Like we have got, again, resources on campus. We've got counselors and a counseling center and all that good stuff that, people can work through some of these items. And that they are very, very, very helpful. So that would be my first kind of thought around that. But it's definitely something that so many of us understand and have struggled with and worked through, and we're still here with you.
Yeah, as Jen said, like you don't have to do everything. And in that, I would add, you don't have to do everything alone, right? You can ask for help, right? In beginning, even I felt the same, but then when I started talking to my colleagues and my classmates, I came to know they feel the same. But when we both started working on the problem, I overcome that syndrome. So yeah, you don't have to do everything alone.
Yeah, I would want to add my voice to that. So I would recommend two approaches that has really helped me. I classify this issue into two parts: the STEM programs and non-STEM. So when you come into a STEM program, you normally have an advisor that has been assigned to you, that you'll be working with in a lab, and you have other lab colleagues. But especially those in social sciences, we have a general advisor in the first year, which makes it very difficult when it comes to dealing with these issues, because you normally don't have someone that really would be able to have time to work with you through your project or what have you, so you start your dissertation. So I would say, in as much as that person, the general advisor, is there, talk to them, just be sincere. How do I navigate this issue? For instance, I was struggling on how to identify research gaps. I'll just go to my advisor. How do you do yours? What are some ways that makes you, navigate this path? And it really helped me. Just be open. And I love what Dr. Jill said earlier. Be bold, and step up and ask questions. And then the one technique that really helped me personally was being able to talk to my senior colleagues, those who are year 4, year 3, fifth year, those who are far ahead, and even different schools. When I go for conferences in Chapel Hill, in different universities, I connect with them. That, hey, how did you navigate your way through? And then, just to buttress what Jen and then Kuma said, it is a collaborative effort. My first publication was from a student from Vermont, very skilled in data analysis. He held my hand all through the way, and we did it. So be open and be very vulnerable with yourself, that this is why I'm not really good. How can I be able to get equipped in that regard? And then last but not the least, there are so many service on campus when it comes to being able to write your papers. The writing centers are there. How do I articulate my scientific ideas? And I'm sure, coupled with CGLL, other programs that we do, we'll be able to kind of like, buttress these ones. But just be bold and feel that you belong and you really matter. Yeah.
Yes, thank you for that. Reminding folks to be bold and ask questions. I think that's one of the most important things, is to remember that your more senior colleagues, they've been here, they're a little bit more experienced. So you should ask them questions. You can ask them sort of like maybe what to expect for your qualifying exams, or they might have some insights about department politics a little bit. You should always go to the thesis and dissertation defenses and things like that, so then you know how that stuff works, and you're also supporting your colleagues by doing that. Yeah, so that's very important. So let's see here. So how do you guys tend to stay healthy and balanced, or do you tend to stay healthy and balanced?
So generally what I do is I walk a lot. I walk around the campus. Right, we have a Greek way, right, a pathway also. So I walk around that, and I walk from my office to my home again. So yeah, you can do a lot of stuff. Then we have UREC as well, right? We have a lot of sports. So I am into martial arts. So yeah, I go to their clubs. I go to MMA clubs and all. So yes, it is my way of being healthy.
Kingsford, do you have any advice? Do you have any hobbies that keep you sane?
Yeah. So for hobbies, I think to keep me sane, as I said earlier, I love the parks in Charlotte. I love it so much. I just love to just go and just play with the geese, just watch them. It calms me down. That is my first spot. And then secondly, I create content. I'm a YouTuber, so when I'm stressed too, I use that to also as my escape route. I'm not saying go and be a YouTuber. Don't get me wrong. But that's
A
just
lot of
another way.
work.
Yeah. But more importantly, I go for walks. I go for walks a lot, especially when it's from 5 p.m. there. I normally go out just to go for catch fresh air, just to walk for like 30 minutes, 1 hour, catch up with family, and then it helps. And I've realized that in grad school, ideas normally flow easily when you are not engaged in some of the academic stuff that you're stressed about. I guess I get most of my ideas during departmental social gatherings. I'll be like, oh, this thing clicked. So don't just be overwhelmed or swamped up with the grad school journey that you neglect the social gatherings. So for me, it is the parks, and then secondly, just going for walks. I mean, although I don't have a dog, but I go for my own personal walk. Yeah.
You can borrow one of mine if you want to. Um, and you should put a link to your YouTube channel in the chat also. I'm sure people would like to check that out.
Oh,
Uh,
Ben's already ahead of the game on that
oh,
one.
really?
Yeah,
Of
yes.
course he is. Awesome. Yeah, Kingsford is a superstar. Jen, do you have any advice about work-life balance or anything like
I
that?
feel like we came to me last because this is a trick question. I also, along with being a doctorate of business administration student here at UNC Charlotte, I also adjunct teach here at UNC Charlotte. I am a GLF. I have a husband and a 14-year-old at home. So we have a lot going on. I love the suggestions of Kingsford and Kumar as well. I think that those are wonderful ones. I try to find time to do things that I love, and I personally love reaching out and doing more like public speaking events, especially to help people create environments where teams can thrive. And so I get really excited to be able to do some of those things and also advocate for neurodiversity. So, which means we have, for me, I'm studying things like ADHD, right? And its impacts on entrepreneurship. So I like to try to do some of those things that are important to me and help fill my cup, right? Luckily, what I'm studying for my doctorate helps fill that cup. So I get a little double whammy there, which is really nice too.
So, Jen, since you're talking about being a mom and all that kind of stuff, we do have a lot of non-traditional students here. We have students who have been probably, out in the workforce for many years and returning to graduate school, or maybe they've been raising a family for many years and now they're returning to graduate school, or maybe you just got into graduate school and then found out you're having a baby, or good knows what, I mean, there's just like there's so many things. So I think it's good for our new students to know that you'll find other people like you here. You're definitely, if you're a non-traditional student, if you're like 65 coming back to graduate school, there will be other folks just like you, and there will be other parents and other
Oh, absolutely.
caregivers and all that kind of stuff. And we actually have a new student organization. Well, it's not even, it's for everybody here on campus, for UNC Charlotte affiliates who are parents and caregivers. So they've just been formed recently, and they have
I didn't even know about
events.
this. See, now I'm
Yeah,
learning something new. This is awesome.
yeah, it's actually one of the other GLFs, Allison Static, has formed it. So if you visit our Grad Life Fellow page, you can see most of the bios of our Graduate Life Fellows. They haven't all submitted them yet, but you can go there, and I think you can probably find information about the parent slash caregiver organization. So
That's fantastic.
um,
And like that just
yeah.
speaks to how much we have here, right? And how many resources we have to help support the students here, right? Just to give you a quick to add on to what you just said, I spent 20 years in the corporate workforce. I started my doctorate program as an executive program. I recently left my traditional job to pursue more entrepreneurial ventures and do my doctorate and kind of do a lot of the things that I'm really interested in doing. And so this school provided for that and was my top choice to come for this program. So I'm so excited that to welcome everyone to be part of the GLF program as well. So thank you, and know that there are so many of us like this. So many people in so many different ways have come to UNC Charlotte. It's a great community.
You're gonna bring a tear to my eye, Jen.
It's true.
Um, let's see here. So we've gotten a lot of questions in the chat about things like the student ID and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if they've all been answered, but yes, you need a student ID, even if you're not here on campus. And the thing is, they're moving away from the physical IDs altogether. So you get an ID on your phone. You don't even have to come to campus to get it. You can just submit your like headshot basically, and then you can use your phone to like unlock doors here on campus. I think you can load meal points on it or whatever. And then like what Jen was saying earlier, there's a lot of perks with when you have a student ID. And then at the end of your academic journey here, you need your ID in order to pick up your graduation gown. So don't wait until the last minute or you might end up with no gown. Oh, and pardon me, I have a head cold, of course, so I'm sniffling and I apologize for that. Somebody just said, what happens if your phone is dead? I do not know. I guess you have to get a physical ID in that case. But I hope your phone is not permanently dead. So, do you have any advice for making meaningful connections with faculty, with an advisor, with people in other departments, anything like that? We know that feeling like you're connected in graduate school to your university and to your colleagues and that sort of thing, that really, really helps students be successful in graduate school. It's super important, and that's one reason why we like to organize a lot of like social events and things like that and get people to come in person or at least turn their camera on a Zoom session or whatever. But so do any of the three of y'all have any advice in that regard?
I would like to say in this regard is always don't be afraid to take an initiative, right? So initially when I came here, I was afraid to approach someone, but then I became bold and now I can talk to anyone on campus, right? And it's not necessarily important that you all the time you talk about your coursework or your career or something, nothing. You can just simply say hi to someone anytime and just ask for something, right? You can even like making connection is not just like talking about jobs or something. It's just talking about personal hobbies or are you free? Let's hang out or something like that. So yeah, that's from my side.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. Get out, talk to people, come hang out at the Center for Grad Life and Learning. It's great when you just even I think Kumar has just said, even if you're feeling uncomfortable with it, growth mindset. The more you try, the more you get out there and practice, the easier it's going to become. And I personally believe we all have more in common than we have different from one another. You'll find a commonality with someone, and that will just launch you into a conversation and a great connection, maybe a friend for life, maybe a colleague, maybe whatever that might, and or maybe someone just for that season, right? But it all helps in the end with those connections. So get out there, participate in our events, right? That's a great resource to come out and get to know someone new in a low pressure situation where, you could, and there's food and drinks. So, yay.
Yeah, I think mine will be much interesting because I come from a culture where in my country it is very difficult to be outspoken, right? Because of how we were raised. But when I came to America, it was opposite. So to give a very good example, when you're talking to an elderly person and you look straight into the eye, it means you're being disrespectful. And I came to America, it shows you're being confident. So it was quite interesting. But again, borrowing from the words of Dr. Jill, you have to be bold. So I had to adapt and adjust as an international student and being immersed in the culture, and also borrowing from what she said again. You don't want to be networking with them when you only need like reference letter, when you need help for recommendation and what have you. You need to start from now. This summer, I'm working with one professor on her project. She just reached out to me based on what? The networking I've built earlier. We were talking beyond class, we're discussing ideas. So I would encourage you to really have a mutual perspective when it comes to networking, not just to be a parasite, but someone whom you can learn from and they can also share from your experience. And trust me, as Jen beautifully put it, And we have so much in common than what we think. I mean, the difference will spare us out. So just be bold, step it out there, go for office hours, check in. How is it going? How was your grad school journey? You know, just ask these questions and build this rapport, and it will go a long way to help you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. And thank you so much for sharing about the differences you were noting in your culture as well, and kind of that discomfort in it, but also the fact that, you know, you're such an important part of our community now. And so that's just amazing. Thank you for sharing that, Kingsford.
Yeah, I love that. And that was all very well said. Thank you.